Hello, I thought it was about time for another video check-in, just to update on where I am and what I've been up to over the past few days. So I'm in Beijing now, so I've finally completed the Trans-Siberian Express train journey and had a few days in Mongolia just now. We were there for 4 days and did a 3-day, 2-night tour out of Ulaanbaatar, the capital, and into the 3 nearest national parks, which was brilliant. But also I was quite glad that I wasn't doing it for any longer because it was tough. I mean, it does make you realise what people's lives are like who are living the nomadic lifestyle, and how well, I guess when you're used to your creature comforts, it's quite difficult. We got it was like a roller coaster ride driving to and from all the places, because there are some roads, but they tend to be quite potholed and not that smooth. And then you go off the main roads quite often onto like dirt tracks, and then there's even no roads at all, and you're just kind of going over the grass and the steppe and things. And no seat belts, no things to hold on to, and Siobhan and I were sat on the wheel, so we were getting bounced around all over the place for 3 days. So I was aching from head to toe by the end. And we also, when we were staying in Gers with families both nights, and which was really great to experience, and it felt quite obviously the tourist experiences sometimes you're kind of like, oh, it's all a bit of they're just doing it for the tourists and things like that, but it was really nice. Like, it was very honest about the fact that, you know, they were being paid for us staying with them and being fed. They fed us and everything, but they were getting on with their daily life and everything. So, and we got to participate in that a little bit. So the first night, well, we did some horse riding in the steppe, which was nice, and then the mother of the family, she was milking the cows, and so we kind of were watching that and helping a little bit. And then the next night, with another family we were staying with from a different ethnic group in a different place, they once a year with their horses, they do male horse castrations, and it was that night that they were doing it. So we were watching them kind of rounding them all up and then lassoing them and then pulling them over by tying up their feet, and then getting out this big knife, and that was when I stopped watching. But it was incredible to get to see that and be part of it, and they weren't, they weren't putting anything on, it was just run-of-the-mill doing it kind of thing. So it was, and just the landscapes were amazing, and I've just written a blog about Mongolia, and I think the thing for me, really the highlight, was seeing the wild horses and seeing this successful conservation breeding programme in action. The group of horses that we saw had 2 foals with them, so they're obviously doing really, really well, which was great. And ever since Olkhon Island in near Lake Baikal, our last stop in Russia, it's up until then we'd not seen any other tourists at all. We were always with Russian people, and I really enjoyed that. And I was kind of, saying this when I was Skyping Mum the other day, like, oh, it's been great. And then from Olkhon Island, it's just been tourists galore, like everyone's congregated. But that equally has actually been really nice, and we just keep bumping into different people and sharing experiences and things like that. And the French couple who we did the Mongolian tour with were getting on the same train as me to Beijing, and we just went out last night in Beijing, in Sanlitun, which is the kind of main strip, particularly for international people as well, but weren't many international people there, it was mostly Chinese people. And it really made me realise globalisation is how it is kind of, when you go out at night, it's just the same everywhere, the same music, the same kind of scenes. The only difference that I noticed from the UK and from Europe is that everyone was smoking in there, so my clothes reek this morning. I'm wearing like the last clothes that I've got, so I look a bit kind of just throwing things together. So I've done a really amazing big wash, and I've had a private room for myself for 1 night, and I'm just about to go into my 8-bed dorm for the next 6 nights in Beijing. to keep the costs down again. But it's been lovely having my own shower and everything for for a night, and I've made the most of it and had 2 showers, so I'm feeling very clean. Yeah, so what else was I going to say? Yeah, we've got the next 6 nights in Beijing. Kate joins this evening. I can't believe I'm now into the 3rd part of my trip. So I travelled with Mike through until St. Petersburg, and then Siobhan from St. Petersburg to Ulaanbaatar. The bit that I was most scared about is over now. There weren't 3 big burly men in my compartment. I was with a German girl, an English guy, and a Chinese guy. Yeah, and now it's into the 3rd part and seeing Kate this evening, and then we're travelling together for the next 6 weeks. I'm not sure I'm going to have quite as many environmental organisations, people to meet up with here in China. I think maybe it's partly just because it's the national holiday at the moment, so I'm not hearing back from people right now, but I am struggling a bit more to get in touch with people, so I don't think it will be quite as frequent as it was in Russia, where it was virtually every stop that I met up with someone. But we will see, watch this space. I'm going to be sending some more emails and trying to get in touch with people this afternoon and see what comes of it. Okay, I'll check in again soon.